Yo, what's good, everybody? Hey, it's your man B Vaughn here with We Create Music TV. And tonight, right now, we have an amazing guest. We have award-winning R&B, hip hop. I mean, she is oh my gosh, I don't know how many titles she has. She's a hip hop artist, an R&B artist, entrepreneur. She's a music publisher. She has so many different titles, but we're going to get to all that. But I want to welcome and all of you to give a warm welcome to Miss Storm. Welcome, welcome. Miss Storm, how are you?
Hi,
Hello,
I am
hello.
doing great. How are
That's
you?
what's I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
It's Thursday. It's not raining here in Atlanta. Weather's amazing. Right. Yes, weather's amazing. I'm good. How about yourself?
Yes, same. I can't
Same.
complain. It was a beautiful day today. Absolutely. It felt like summertime in Atlanta
All right,
today.
see. And I got out to enjoy, well, just a little bit. Just a little bit of it. I would
Just a
say that.
little, just
Had to
a
run
little.
some errands a little bit earlier today, but yeah, it was hot. I had a jacket on, think it was gonna be cold, but yeah, no, it
Had
was.
to take it off, didn't
I
you?
was like, yo, what is it? I had sweats on, a jacket on. That I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be cold because the other couple of days it's been cold. I'm like, yeah, nah,
Been freezing. It was like
freezing.
36 degrees a couple of
Yeah,
nights ago. I had a
yeah,
coat and some boots on. Yeah.
right. I can't have that in my life.
Crazy.
That's why I moved from
Right.
St. Louis because I can't have that in my life. So
STL. Okay,
STL.
Midwest.
That's right. We represent. But
That's
but
right. I
yeah,
love
yep.
St. Louis.
Uh, you know, I like St. Louis. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it.
Growing up
Um,
there and being there your whole life, that's probably why you
oh
like
well,
it
yeah.
there.
No, I
Because
didn't grow up in St. Louis.
oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
Where you
No,
grow
no, no,
up?
no, no. No, I'm from Virginia. So people
Oh,
know they watch
okay.
the
I
show.
love
Then
Virginia too.
I'm a VA boy, but I lived in St. Louis
Okay.
for the past previous 10 years. I've been here in Atlanta for almost 4. So,
Oh,
but I mean,
wow.
this ain't about me. This is about Miss Storm. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Miss Storm, I am glad that you are on here today. I actually have been wanting to get you on for some time, but I'm glad we now have this time to get together and to talk and to kind of just congregate about everything Miss Storm. So
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. So as I ask with every guest, just tell us, how did you get started? Walk us through your journey from how you got
Ooh.
started to where. And I know it's a. Let's talk about it. Let's talk
Oh
about it.
my gosh. Well, thank you again, Brian, for having me on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your platform with me, and I love what you're doing over there. Let me throw that out there.
Appreciate it.
For everyone who don't know, my name is Miss Storm. I'm the CEO of Ear Candy Productions, which is a lot of things. Ear Candy is a record label that I started. It's also a music library that I do publishing through, and it's also a casting company for videos and videography and stuff like that. So we do a lot of different things at Ear Candy Productions. I'm also the creator of the Black History Month Cyphers. That's an annual event that I throw here in Atlanta for Black History Month. And I'm also the founder of the Moving Mountains Foundation of Motivational Speakers, where we kind of like give back to the community and help aspiring artists, youth predominantly, that's trying to, branch off into the music industry. I got into music early in my life. Like music was always like my first love. Like I really never had any other thing that I was gravitating to like
Mm.
music. Music was something that I was able to relate to, or something I was able to use to express myself. So I have been doing music, singing. Yeah, I started off singing, and I've been singing for a very, very, very long time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what's up. I mean, so how did you know you wanted to be a singer? Like, I mean, what kind of sparked that?
Honestly, what I can remember is singing in church,
Mm.
and having the congregation and everyone just hyping you up and feeling the energy from your voice, and just seeing the power that music has on people and how it can elevate people's whole feelings. I mean, I used to sing to my grandmother, and she could feel bad, and if I would sing to her, she would start feeling better. And I'm like, wow, music is magic. It has the
Mm-hmm.
power to do
That's
that
right.
to people. But my mother would tell you, and she always tells everyone, "Oh, babe, my baby been singing since she was in diapers." She said I used to dance. She said I used to dance to Michael Jackson videos with a pamper on. I mean,
Hey,
I've always loved music, always.
hey, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, music is you talk about music is you sing to your grandmother and she will feel happy. I mean, music has, a huge emotional connection to it. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, I always tell people, think about your favorite song and think about where you were when you first heard that song and why that song became your favorite song.
Right.
Like,
Or what it
like
make you feel.
what make you feel? Like, I know songs
Right.
that I have personally for myself that I can listen to and it conjures up different emotions
Ooh,
or different meanings, and I'm like, and
that's the magic.
yeah, I've had songs to
That's
get
the
me through
magic.
times, and it's
Oh,
like,
who you
yeah,
telling?
yeah, oh,
Who you telling?
you got that right, you got that right, yeah. So we all have some type of connection to music and what music
Absolutely.
does to the person's. I would say, it touches their soul in a way that helps to uplift or to get them through whatever that situation may be. So yeah, so singing in
Right.
diapers, huh? So you came out
Singing in Pampers. In the
singing in
Huggies.
in the Huggies. Singing, that's right. And I was singing in Loves. So no,
Okay.
let
So
me stop.
you
Let me
got you
stop.
gotta upgrade.
Let me stop.
Upgrade.
Right, upgrade. So you're originally from
Ohio.
Ohio, right? Warren, Ohio, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
See,
right. 330.
330,
Look at
three
you
three
doing
zero.
your
No, let me stop.
stuff.
Let me stop. Before somebody was like, "Hey, you see him throwing gang signs up on the?"
Right.
Yeah,
We
no,
don't want
no, no.
that.
I don't
We
know
don't
nothing
want
about.
that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you know
But
about something.
I don't know about nothing. But so talk about growing up in Ohio and talk about the culture of Ohio from a musical perspective and how that influenced you as an artist.
Oh, that's a great question. Ohio is the home of the baddest, funkiest, amazing, original, innovative, creative artists in the world. I mean, Isley Brothers. I mean, Zapp and Roger. I mean, Avant. I mean, Bootsy Collins. I mean, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And when you talk about Ohio artists and musicians, or producers, even one thing about Ohioans that I love to death, and I just thank God that I was, you know, born there and raised there, is that we are the heart of it all. We do everything. You can't put an Ohio artist in a box. We sing, we rap, we do country, we do pop, we do folk, we do everything, because we're the heart of it all. We feel everything. I grew up listening to alternative stuff. Nirvana's drummer is from my hometown.
Hey, let's get into the
From my
smell like Teen Spirit. Oh,
hometown.
really? From your hometown?
Yes, from
Wow.
my hometown. Yeah, David Grawl, I think is his name, the
Hmm.
drummer, the phenomenal drummer. He's from Warren, Ohio.
Wow.
So some of the baddest, James Brown band was from Ohio. I mean, some of the baddest musicians, and I've had the opportunity to be in the room or behind the stage with them and just watch them. Like, oh, it's just, yeah, Ohio. I shout out to Ohio.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Ohio.
shout out to Ohio.
That's right. So of course you grew up there, right? So as an artist yourself, I mean, what did you take away from that culture to help, you in your music artistry itself?
To be honest with you, I've never had anyone ask me that question. And now that I reflect on that, honestly, everything
Mm,
that I am is because of my upbringing in Ohio. Everything that I am. I was surrounded by amazing musicians, producers, singers, rappers, and they all had their own thing. Like, it wasn't something like, okay, so I'll be more in depth. Being here in Atlanta, I've been in Atlanta for about 13 years. And when I deal with artists here in Atlanta, there is a certain sound that you're going to get from Atlanta. Even plugins, when we come to producing and engineering with the programs we're using, everyone wants to use auto tune. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Let me say that first. Ain't nothing wrong. I personally don't use it,
I don't use it
but
either.
I mean, but I'm in the studio with a lot of people who use it, and I understand why they use it. Yeah, I'll say
Hmm.
that. But in
Hmm.
Ohio, it wasn't like that. Everyone had their own original thing, and it wasn't artists trying to sound like anyone else or that was piggybacking off of someone else. It was just so original. And I'm not gonna lie, I go home often just to get that. I go
Mm-hmm.
home often to get that energy. I need that energy, because being here in Atlanta, you can start to sound like Atlanta. You can start to sound
Yeah,
like, you know, you can start to sound
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Atlanta.
You putting skirts in your song now?
Skirt, skirt.
Skirt, skirt in your song? Yeah, right. I mean, but no, but you're right though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You are absolutely right, because coming from, even from my own experience, living in St. Louis had its own. St. Louis kind of defined the sound of the Midwest, like, right. I mean,
You
of course,
ain't lying.
you got Nelly, you got Chingy. I mean, but from an artistry historical perspective, there's many artists that came out of St. Louis that had their own original sound, kind of just like Ohio.
Ohio.
But I found the same thing being here in Atlanta. It's like,
Skip,
wait a minute,
skip.
you sound just like this person. You sound just like that person. You sound just like that person. You
Right.
sound just like that person. And it's like, oh my gosh, not whatever. Atlanta. I love
Right.
Atlanta.
That's all.
Love being
I love
here.
Atlanta
But I'm
too.
like, oh
I
my
love Atlanta
gosh.
too.
Like, yo, stop trying to
Yeah.
sound like this other dude that sounds just like that other guy who sounds
But
like that
you
other
know what
guy.
I noticed though? The people who are been here, who grew up here or started doing music here or got their music history from here, they don't even notice it. They be like, you
No,
can't
of
tell the
course not.
difference, and I be like, it sounds just like what I
Sound the
just heard.
same.
They don't hear the difference.
They don't hear the
They don't.
difference.
They'd be like,
Right.
they'd be like this. Don't compare me to nobody.
Nobody.
I don't sound like none of these
Nobody.
cats. And I'd be like,
Right.
okay,
I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, hold on. Let me put this song on and see if you
this
sound like
ain't
this
you,
person.
right?
Now, I will tell you this. For the longest time, and I don't know why, but because they actually don't sound alike, but I had the hardest time at first distinguishing between a Cardi B song and a Nicki Minaj song.
Oh wow,
Because I
yeah,
would go,
yeah.
like, wait a minute, is that Nicki or is that Cardi? Oh, is that Cardi or is that Nicki?
There's that Nikki.
Hmm. But then, as I heard more of Cardi B, I was like, oh, I can definitely tell which one's a Cardi
Exactly.
B
She got
song and which one.
that I don't know what her ethnicity is, but whatever that Spanish
Right,
tongue is,
right, right,
you can
right.
hear
Yep,
it. Yeah. Like I want to
yep.
shake that thing back in my throat.
Right. So I had to get
Like
used. Right.
yeah.
So I had to get used to, like, okay,
Yeah, Nikki's more animated. Nikki's more
yeah.
animated.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
super animated when she
Definitely.
comes to
Love
her
it.
style, her
Yeah.
lyrical ability, her presentation,
Absolutely.
and it took me a minute to kind of listen to both of them in that perspective to go, oh no, I can definitely tell the difference between
Tell the difference.
both of you.
Right.
Right, that's right. So that's good. I'm always interested in how where people grew up, how their culture of where they grew up influences them. I mean, especially for a person, I'll say like myself, who didn't grow up in any type of musical anything. Like
Mm.
the city that I lived in Virginia, there is not a single artist that I know of that came out of that town
Wow.
and made it. Or like, yeah, I don't. I mean, we didn't have no studios. We didn't have.
I get what you're saying. I
Yeah,
get what
right.
you're
It was
saying.
not even. I don't know. I can tell
It
you what
wasn't a
everybody.
musical place.
No, I can tell you what type of town it was, but it was not a musical town. That's
So you have to deal with the Confederate flags down there in Virginia where you was at.
no. We had to deal with a lot of vials. With
Okay. One
yeah,
of them. One
yeah.
of them.
Oh, it
We
was one.
had that too.
It
We
was one
had
of
that
them.
too.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So I can answer that question for you. I grew up in a real small town. We had one mall, one high school, two parks, one library. So when I tell you it was a very small town, I am a
mhm.
very small town girl. We didn't have anyone that we knew of or that we had access to that came out of our hometown. If in my city, if you got on in the business, you move far away and never look back. That's typically how it's been for all the major artists that have come out of my hometown. So once and most of them are much older than me. I mean, we're talking about legends, like Slave and the Ohio players. They're much older than me.
Mhm.
So but being a small town girl with big dreams and little opportunities, I started to travel. I was traveling when I was 16 years old, getting on a
Mm.
Greyhound. One of the first places I went was East St. Louis.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was one of the first places I went. I would get up and get on a Greyhound bus and just go to different cities and meet the movers and shakers in
Hmm.
different towns, introduce myself. And I was always just bubbly person, like, hey, my name's Storm. I sing, I rap. You want to hear what I can do? Listen to what I can do. And for some reason, they would listen to what
Right.
I could do. So
That's
I've
right.
been in so many studios,
Mm.
all around the world, just, contributing whatever I can contribute, just trying
Mm-hmm.
to get my name out there, get a feel for how this thing goes. I was just so passionate about music, and I still am, but as a young girl, it was like everything to me. I knew
Mm.
that I wanted to be a part of this business. It's something about it so magical, so therapeutic. It helps people, and I knew I had to be a part of it. So yeah, I would leave my hometown and go out and outsource because there
Yeah.
was no opportunities where I was from, at all.
Yeah.
Not
Same.
at all.
Same.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I don't. I sit back and think about that with the advent of technology. Back in the day when I was growing up, we ain't had. My son
Oh,
asked me.
I
My
know.
son asked. Look, my son asked me the other day. He was saying something about maps and printing out maps and stuff and doing something for the stuff that he does. And I'm like, yeah. I said because back in the day, when I used to do this, we actually had maps you had to print out
Who you
and
telling?
right. And he was like, Dad, but you ain't have internet back then though. I was like, wait, did we?
No, because
I was
we
like, yo,
had
we
to
didn't have
print out
internet.
like MapQuest. Like MapQuest. Remember that? We would
That's
have to
right.
print it out and flip through the paper. Okay, we'll turn the left here.
That's
Okay,
right.
past the BP. Yeah.
That's right. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. We didn't have internet. So I sit back now in 2022 and think about, doesn't artists really need to move to Atlanta, New York, Nashville, Chicago, Miami, LA in order to truly make it now? I'm like,
Huh. That's
wow.
a good question. My personal opinion is yes,
Mm,
because you can get your stuff out here. Say you got a song and you really believe in this song. You could pay to have it,
hmm
promoted on Instagram, Facebook, social media, and stuff like that. But to really to get here, to actually hit the stage, to meet the A&Rs and the executives and the scouts that's always here, always looking for talent and scouting talent, it's good to at least come and be a part of some of the open mics and some of the,
hmm
the different events and festivals and stuff that they have.
That's
So
right.
I would say a balance of them both.
Mm. Because you never know who you're going to meet
I never
at,
do.
at any of these events, showcases, open mics. You never know who you're going to meet. I mean, I've met some amazing people that you would never think were anybody or somebody in this industry.
Right. Let me tell
And
you something. Let me
like,
tell you what just came to mind. So remember when we first got on the call, I was like, you look familiar to me.
mhm.
I know you from somewhere. I think I know where I met you at.
Uh,
After I'm about to tell me if this is right. I met you at the A3C event. It was a private dinner, and my band was the honoree band for Wyclef Jean, Jermaine Dupri, and Brian Michael Cox. Was you there?
I'm trying to think, was I there?
I'm telling you, I have a picture of me
Probably.
and you. I
Yeah,
have a
I want to
picture
see
of
that
me
picture.
and you.
I want to see the
I'm
picture.
almost sure that's the first
I
time
want
I
to.
met you.
I want to see that picture because I was
Yeah,
at that A3C when Wyclef was there, and
and you was there
so
when he got off the stage and freestyled with the band.
I don't. Oh gosh, I don't
You don't
remember.
remember? Yeah,
I don't. I
yeah.
remember what I do remember is I walked into the male bathroom and Wyclef was already in there, and I was like, "What's up, Wyclef?"
Right.
He was like, "Hey, what's
Real
up?"
cool.
He was
Real
real,
cool.
real cool. I was, "What's
Real
up,
cool.
Wyclef?" But yeah. I don't know. I got to see that picture to know.
No,
So I
that was you. That was you. I don't forget a face. I do not forget a face. I
I
was
go
just trying to
to
put my finger on it.
I go to a lot of stuff. Oh, I used to go
Yeah,
to a lot of stuff before the whole COVID thing.
I know.
So, but I am interested in the origination of your name, though, Miss.
Okay, well, so I got my name from my hometown in Warren, Ohio. I used to be a part of a group called the Underworld, which is a reputable hip hop soul group in my hometown that's doing their thing. Shout out to all of them at the Underworld. And they gave me that name. We had Chaos, the Wolverine, Iceman, Doja, Contact, Miss Storm, and a couple other. We was like a
Oh,
big
you like
Wu
the like
Tang.
right? Oh, okay. Hey, Wu Tang is my
Yeah.
favorite, one of my favorite groups. So yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
was mobbing like them. We was mobbing like them.
Okay.
It
So
was pretty cute.
y'all were like the hip hop X-Men.
Yeah.
Right. The X
We've
straight
been
hip hop
throwing it
X-Men.
up.
Okay.
We've been
Okay.
throwing it
Dope.
up.
Dope. Yeah. I was wondering where the name Miss Storm came from because as soon as of course, when I've heard the name previously, even before you came into the show, I was like, automatically resonated, X-Men, Storm in the X-Men. So I was like, okay, let's talk
That's
about where that
right.
name came from. Okay, that's
Yeah, so
awesome.
yeah, they gave me the name and I stuck with it. People were like, man, you can sing up a storm and you can rap up a storm.
You can
I'm like,
wrap up a
okay,
storm too.
right.
I heard you do both. I've heard
Thank
both.
you.
I've heard
Yeah, I
both.
love both.
And
I love both.
sometimes somebody's only good at one or the other, or really good at one versus the other. Like I really
Right.
am great at singing, but I rap too, but I'm not really that good. Now, ladies
And
and
I
gentlemen,
honestly,
I'm telling you, nah,
I will let you say it. I will let you
I'm
say
telling
it.
you, she does both amazingly, rap and sing. Like we're gonna talk about a song she has out, that I saw, was looking at the video today, Quicksand. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. But yo,
Yes,
she was
yes.
killing it. I'm telling you, she does both exceptionally well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that has been like the story of my life. I've had so many opportunities on the table, and
Mm,
it came down to an ultimatum will say, okay, well, we'll work with you if you sing. Or let's not sing. Let's work on just being. We want you to be the next little Kim. We want you to be. I've
mm,
always had to pick and choose throughout my whole career, and majority of the
mm.
time, I went with singing, and I promoted more singing than hip hop because it was my, what I started doing first. I have more
Ah,
experience singing than doing hip
okay.
hop. So yeah,
But
yeah.
she can do both exceptionally well.
Hey,
Exceptionally well, right? I ain't gonna ask her to kick no freestyle, but she
hey,
can do both of those exceptionally well.
thank you,
That's
thank
right.
you.
So Miss Storm, so for you, what is your message, your story as an artist? Why do you exist as an artist?
I'm here to change the game.
Uh-oh.
I'm here to
What
change the game.
what do you mean by that? Change the game.
I'm here to influence the younger generation coming up underneath and after me, and artists in my area, my field, that they can be whatever they want to be. Be the wild
Mm,
card. Don't be timid. Don't be scared to say what matters. Don't be scared to say what's on your heart, and don't let anyone else dictate what you have to be as a female artist in this game. I'm here to change the game. My whole journey has taught me that you have to follow your first instinct. You have to follow your gut and do what feels good to you, because at the end of the day, you're building your legacy. It's your brand, it's your name. And after you're gone, this is what you're going to be remembered as. This is, everything is about you. So you have to make the best decisions for yourself personally. So that's what I'm here to do. My whole thing is I promote positivity, I promote Black unity, Black love, Black, community, giving back, and just loving yourself, self-love, mental health. I promote everything positive. That's my legacy, and that's not what I stand on. That's what's important to me, and that's what I want to be known for way after
mm.
I'm gone.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you have a message behind who you are and what you do. Not many people have that. Just like I just
I
want to be an
know,
artist, I want to get rich, I want to be famous. But you
right?
have a true purpose of what you are looking to do and the impact you're looking to have and the legacy that you want to leave. And
Absolutely.
that's
But
good.
I've been there. I've been
Oh
there though.
yeah.
It took me some
Right.
time. I think every creative at the beginning stage of their career, they just want to create. They have something, they hear a beat, man, I
Hmm.
can do this, I can do this. It's a challenge almost. Like, let me see if I can out rap this beat or out sing this beat. I used to
Hmm.
get, I'm a competitor. Being an artist is a sport. I get in there and
Hmm.
I'm fighting with the beat. Like, okay, who gonna outshine who, the beat or me?
Right.
But then, after watching how music has cultivated our youth, watching how what we say out of our mouth impacts the listeners and how much
Mm.
power we have with our words and our music, I realized that it's much deeper. It's much deeper than just getting in the booth and putting some words on paper. It's so
Hmm.
much deeper than that. Music is very powerful. It could be used in a bad way if you're not careful with it. And
Hmm.
so once I got that understanding and became woke to that, then I'm really more conscious of everything that I put out. Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, music can be used as a weapon, right?
absolutely,
It can be used to either build up or tear down. And
absolutely.
depending on how I had a guest on here. His name was Truzy. Wow, it was
Mhm.
like when I first started doing this whole thing, and I asked him
Okay.
the question. I said, "Do you feel that it is your responsibility as an artist to kind of shape this culture? Like, are you responsible for as an artist? to
That's a good
help
question.
shape the thoughts and the mindset of people who are listening to your music. And the answer that he gave was, I don't remember the whole answer, but I'm gonna tell everybody what, go watch it and he'll give you the answer. But 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 in there he talked about, he said, music is like his baby. And he
Mm,
said not just for him, he said, but for us as black people, as the culture, it's our baby. He said, and we've let other people come in and do other
woo,
things with our baby. He said, imagine if, you know, you're a mother or father and somebody comes in and wants to do things to your baby. Are you going to let them?
mm.
And he
I
was like,
got
I'm not.
chills. I
Mm,
got chills.
yeah.
I say that all the time, but he summed it up way just like that. I go into a long story about just that.
Mm,
But yes, I totally agree. I totally concur with what that brother said 100%. 100%. It is our responsibility because this is our baby. Well said. Very well said.
yeah. I was like, whoa. He said, yeah, it's our baby. He said, we let too
That's
many people
right.
come in and mishandle our baby.
Right.
He said, we need to take our baby back.
Unknowingly though. Unknowingly though. But once
Mm,
the scales fall off your eyes and you become aware of that, like I did and like he did, that's when it's time to make a change. And if you got a platform and a voice and you got people that's listening and an audience, yes, you gotta
hmm.
redirect this thing. You gotta take control of this thing.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that. So as many artists, I'm sure that you've had your own challenges that you've had to deal with and the things that you've
Oh
had to
yeah.
overcome in your own personal life and also in your professional life as an artist, music publisher. Like you wear so many different hats. So the first question is, what were some of those challenges that you experienced, and how did you overcome them?
Man, I don't even know where to begin with that question,
Mm-mm.
brother. To be honest with you, I used to ask myself, I think every artist does this, but I've questioned myself so many times and doubted myself in this industry so many times to the where I used to ask God, like, man, why is this so hard? All I want to do is sing. All I want to do is do music. I've been ripped off. I've been lied to. I've been made broken promises to. I've moved here to Atlanta, left everything, my house, my family. I have no family here. I didn't know a soul here. Jumped out on faith, me and my kids. And I tell this story a lot, but it's near and dear to my heart because it made me strong. But I came here with a deal that I was supposed to be in with a label here in Atlanta. And it failed. If the whole deal plummeted, nothing happened out of it. And
Wow.
they moved me here
Wow.
and the house that I was in, they didn't own it. So I ended up being
Mm,
homeless for almost a year here. So long story short, to answer that question, we all have a journey. And as an artist, this is not an easy job. It's not like going to go put an application at Walmart or Kroger's. This is a real life changing environment that you put yourself in. Stress 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 levels in this industry, you have to be
JB,
whew, you
you
have to
got
be
that right.
solid. You have to be solid and have solid people around you. So I thank God that I went through all of the trials and tribulations I did in this business. And I'm still experiencing some now. It's a
Mm,
forever changing business with publishing, especially. You know what I'm saying? It's a
hmm.
forever changing business. And the industry has a format. They make things difficult when it comes to paying out artists intentionally. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
intentionally.
That's my personal opinion on it,
Oh, oh, no, no, no. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, oh
That is
yeah.
a
So
fact.
I would
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
any and everyone who's in this business, always remind yourself why you started.
Mm,
Always remind yourself why you started, and you'll fall back in love with it again. That's what I do. I fell out of love with music to a point to where I almost hated it, like I almost hated it, like a love hate thing. And
right.
then I reminded myself what it meant to me, why it's so
Mm-hmm.
important that I have this gift. God gave me this gift. I can't be disobedient and not use it because it's a gift.
Mm,
It's a gift. So
mm-hmm.
stay vigilant. Stay
It's a
vigilant.
gift. Stay vigilant. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right
Stay
now, the
vigilant.
record companies don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay you. I'm telling you, they don't want to pay you.
No.
Oh gosh, trust me. As a person who is in the middle of, or at the very end of starting his own music company, ish. I don't even know what to call it at the moment. That's kind of why I'm still figuring out what this looks like.
Okay, and that's
Because
okay.
because it's not a record label, even though we will
Okay,
probably sign artists. It's
okay,
not a publishing company, even though I have a director of publishing.
okay.
It's not a music video cinematography company, even though we do that. I don't.
Look, you sound just like Ear Candy. That
Right.
sounds just like Ear Candy
It's
Productions.
it's it's a mix of different things that we do. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I had to go through a process of contracts. Right. I was in the process of looking at, okay, how do we sign artists? When we want to sign an artist, what is our contract going to look like? And
Right.
there's some stuff in these contracts that people got to really, really pay attention to. Look, she's probably pulling out a contract.
Look, I can pull out hundreds of contracts, and they thick.
Thick,
Okay. Typically,
thick.
you want to have an attorney. You want to have a lawyer
You
because
better
you want
have
to make
an
sure that you're covering everything in your
you
contract.
better have one of
Absolutely.
them. But
Absolutely.
what stuck out to me as I was starting to read this contract was something in there called control composition. And I was like,
Mm.
control composition? What is this whole
It's just
thing?
what it say.
It's
It's just what it
exactly what
say.
it says. They control your
It's exactly
compositions,
what it say.
the amount of composition you can be paid on. They determine how many songs can be on an album and what percentage you're going to get paid on each one, down to like the cent. You know, they have this thing called
Absolutely
the
right.
CRB. Oh gosh, get an attorney, have an attorney,
Always.
and
Always.
yes,
A
always,
good
because
one.
they're gonna put some stuff in that contract. Name and likeness. When I was reading about the whole name and likeness, about the name and likeness, how they can own your
Yep.
name, you can't own your name, you can't do nothing.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Woo.
you better read them.
I've
You
been
better get a
there.
lawyer. Right.
I've been there. I've been there.
That's right. You better
Been
get a
there,
lawyer.
done that. Gotta have an attorney.
I
You
mean,
know.
because when you think about it, there's two sides. There's the music business, right, and then there's the whole creative side. So
Two different entities.
two different. Go on, tell them.
Two complete
Go
different
on, tell them.
entities, my
Two
brother.
different entities. So y'all better know which one y'all really. And you're in both.
I'm in both,
So
but not by
right.
choice. Not by choice though. I just wanted to be a creative. I didn't come into this business thinking, oh, I'm going to be a publisher. Oh, I'm going to have a music library. Oh, I'm going to do
Right.
songs like that. I didn't, excuse me, I didn't have any idea what any of that stuff meant up until about the last 8 or 9 years because I had to. Because, I was sitting here. One thing I want to say to everyone listening, and if you're an artist, you already know this, but if you're trying to be an artist, you need to know this. It is expensive to be an artist. It costs money. This is the only job that I can think of that you gotta pay to do. You gotta pay to be an artist first before you make any penny. Understand that. So it's so much more than just getting in the studio. You gotta, unless you got an in-house studio, in-house engineer, in-house producer, in-house videographer, in-house graphic designer. The list goes. That's just the tip.
That's
That's
just
just
the
the
tip.
tip.
That's right. It's the
So it
tip.
costs a lot of money. And after juggling, writing for this person, trying to make money from this to put into myself as an artist, I'm like, how else can I make money? And then, I got familiar with the publishing side and the sync licensing side and said, okay, well, this is another stream of income that I can use while simultaneously getting my name out here, and my music out here, and to put and reinvest into my craft because it's expensive.
Oh,
It's very
it's
expensive.
expensive. Yeah, you got to pay to be like, I don't have to. I can go work in my job that I work. That I was doing earlier today. They pay me to do the job. I ain't got to pay them.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you watch cartoons, but I know some people here watch cartoons. It's kind of like when SpongeBob has to pay Mr. Krabs to work at
the Krusty Krab.
The Krusty Krab. Right. Yeah, that's it. Right. So right. Yeah, SpongeBob has to pay Mr. Krabs to work at the Krusty Krab. Like how do you do that? Like, what industry is that? That's this one, the music industry. That's right. So, okay, so side note, have you heard of AIMP, the Association of Independent Music Publishers?
I've heard of it, yes. I'm not a part of it, I don't believe, but I heard of it.
Okay, so we are starting a chapter here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So, since you are a publisher, and you have a publishing company, you should check out. This is me promoting our AIMP ATL you know.
I'm sorry, my daughter's right here trying to talk to me.
She's like, Mom.
Baby, they can hear me. I'm on a live. What are you saying? Who? Okay, tell them. I'm so sorry. I'm a full-time mother.
Hey,
they don't
look,
give a damn about this music.
Look, they come. Mom, can I have something to eat?
Right.
Dad, can I play video games? Trust me, I get it. I know. I mean, my kids. You say, if you mind me asking, how old is your? Maybe I shouldn't ask, but I guess I will.
I got kids that can take care of themselves.
Me too. Way. Look, me too. So I got kids that can absolutely take care. I got kids that yes, it's like yes, y'all can take care of yourselves. Yeah, that's right.
Goodbye.
That's right. Goodbye.
I done paid my dues. I done
paid my dues as a parent. So that's right. You know, so you started talking about Ear Candy Productions. So talk to us about what Ear Candy Productions is and how that story came about.
Good question. So Ear Candy Productions, we started it in 2010 in Columbus, Ohio. On one of my, escapades, I left my hometown, went to Columbus, Ohio, partnered up with a young lady by the name of April Nicole Dillard. We call her AD though. That's my co-owner of Ear Candy Productions. This young lady is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. She's my partner and I'm so blessed to have her on my team. But we met, she was actually running a youth center of producers called Stars in Columbus, Ohio. And she was doing production and I came in there to introduce myself like, hey, I'm Storm. I write, I sing, I produce, I do this. And she was like, okay. And we just clicked and we started Ear Candy Productions. At Ear Candy Productions, we ghostwrite for a lot of different people. We ghostwrite, of course. We do music publishing with select people. I have less than 13 clients because it's a lot of administrative work. Mm-hmm. I'm really, really invite only when it comes to publishing because it can get very publishing conversations can ruin friendships.
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And this is one of the industries that I would consider myself really, really good at is placing music and stuff in different arenas. I've been doing it successfully for over 10 years now. But it's not even necessarily about the talent or the artist. It's about relationships. And I say that because there has to be a major amount of trust for you to place your intellectual property in the hands of someone else, like a publisher, which would be me. And, trust that I'm going to say, okay, if we get 100,000 for the song, I'm going to take 50,000 and give you 50,000. One, a lot of people would say, well, you didn't create the song. You didn't do anything. You didn't pick up a pen. You ain't, touch the keys on this track, and those conversations can get tricky. But this is what I tell people. If it's sitting on your computer, it's 10 years old, you ain't made a penny off of it. And I'm telling you, I could take this 10-year-old record, put it in a commercial, give you $5,000 up front and, $40 every quarter or whatever, just hypothetically. That's something that you wasn't going to get from just sitting on your computer. So it's like, I get tired at this point and I have dope clientele at this point to where going out and fishing for, artists, I don't do that because the conversation, most people who are artists aren't business people. It's two different things. And trying to make an artist understand the business of publishing is exhausting. Too exhausting for me at this point in my career.
Yeah.
So, we do that. And we also do artist development. We have vocal coaches. We have people who help with, choreography. And then we cast for video. So if you wanted to shoot a video and you needed 14 models, we'll go out and hire the 14 models or find the 14 models for you too. So we do a lot at Ear Candy Productions.
It sounds like what we're doing here at Magnum Opus too. Like
it does.
It does.
It sure does.
It does because we will do publishing. Like we are just getting started, and so we do publishing. But we will have a select clientele that we do publishing with.
Absolutely.
My director of publishing is a guru in the publishing world. I was lucky to get him to come on board, and he is
What's his name?
We'll talk about that when we.
Okay, okay. Nine times out of ten, 9 times out of 10, I know him.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
probably do. But yeah, I mean, so that's what he does. So he does publishing, and I have somebody coming on to do all the marketing, right?
Okay.
So she's coming on board. She's going to do all the marketing. I'm of course a cinematographer myself. I
Oh,
do consulting, and so we kind of do the whole same type of gamut. That's kind
got
of the
all these
same.
hats.
All these
Got all these
hats,
hats. Yeah.
all these
You
different
know what?
hats.
And in most interviews, people ask me, does this interfere with your creativity? And I can't say that it does because now I have a well oiled system.
Right.
Everything is, it's just clicks for me. I look at my email every day, see what's in demand. If I got it, I submit it. It's a click and go situation for me. Now, at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, before I got this, working at this pace, oh, it was
Right.
like, whew, I gotta assign all these, I gotta register all these songs, I gotta copyright all this stuff. I mean, the administration part alone is
It's
exhausting. It can be
exhausting.
very exhausting. And with a lot of the different modernation acts that's going in place, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of new entities are coming into place, like the MLC now, and a lot
MLC.
of different things,
Yep.
right? That you gotta go and now
Mm-hmm.
create accounts with, and so
Right.
it can be.
That's what people don't understand. That's what they don't understand is, oh, can I just sign up with ASCAP and BMI? I'm good, right? Like, nah.
That's the
You.
that's the start.
That's the. That is the start.
I'm sorry, I'm getting hot.
No, you're right. No, look, that's the start of publishing right there. But you got
Yes,
so
it
many,
is.
so can. I mean, you got so many different entities that are out there. You got to think about most favored nation. You got to think about all of these different entities that all the other countries have. I mean, what if my song blows
Right,
up in Germany? How do I get
right.
paid from that?
And that's
At,
why,
is it
excuse
ASCAP?
me, it's good. Right, no. And that's why it's
Right.
good to have a music administrator on your team. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? That's going to make sure that you're getting all of the mechanical and,
That's right.
performance royalties that you're
That's
due.
right.
So,
That's right.
absolutely.
Do I sign up with
Absolutely.
Harry Fox? Who's Harry Fox?
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah, you
who's Harry
definitely
Fox?
do.
Is it some
And,
right? Is that
right.
some a person? No,
Trust me.
is that an animal? No, Harry Fox is somebody you should know. You should,
Absolutely. Especially if you're doing sync licensing.
especially if you're doing sync
Most
licensing.
definitely.
Oh gosh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
people like, oh, song trust. Coming about song trust.
Right.
So there's a whole lot that goes into publishing, but which
Right.
justifies if I get $100,000 deal, me giving you 50, and we as an organization get 50, right?
Thank you.
There's a justification behind it
This is
because
well due.
yes,
Well due.
that's right. The
Absolutely.
amount of work, the amount of
Absolutely.
time, the amount of energy and effort, and the registration and the collection and the administration, all these different things, that takes time, energy, and effort and man hours.
Period. And just having to
Period.
study, like if I could turn my computer around and show you all the books that I'm looking at in front of me, that this is time that I have to study. I'm a student of life. I'm always
That's right.
researching, studying, and I believe in being a student. And no matter how much you know, it's always more to know. And in this
Mm-hmm.
business, it will behoove you to know, read, study.
That's right.
And all that time I take studying, and learning this thing, I'm not giving this away for free. I have to
Mm-hmm.
make something off of this too. So
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. So, of course, you wear many hats. And of course, you started Ear Candy Productions, but you also started Black History Month Cyphers. So, talk about that.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, and what's the overall mission of Black History Month Cyphers?
Man, I was raised by two strong black grandmothers. My one grandmother is still alive, and my other grandmother passed away back in 2007. No, yes, I think 2007. But anyway, long story short, I had living pieces of Black history with me from the beginning of my life until current day. And I'm just passionate about us. I love us. My motto is love everyone who looks like you hard, no matter what. No matter what they're going through, no matter what they've been through. If they look like you, if they melanated like you, at some point, according to history, they are some kin to you. Therefore, you should love them like family. And that's how I feel about my people. So, Black History Month is the only, first of all, let me just say this. There's so many
Hello.
people talking about, oh, Black Future Month. Why do we only celebrate Black History Month uh, for 28 days out the year? Okay, first of all, let me just say this. We are the only race on this planet that has a month dedicated to us. There is no Caucasian month. There's no Mexican month. They may have a day or something. We have an entire month to recap on our greatness. Why not celebrate it? Why argue it? It was fought for by our elders for this day, this month. First it was a week. First it was a day, then it was a week, now it's a month. And it was fought hard for us to have this time to celebrate. Embrace that, love that, respect that. That's important. So for Black History Month, every year for the last 4 years, I gather some of the dopest artists that I've met over the time I've been here in Atlanta. And I bring them to the studio. I get food. I bring videographers in and we record a live cipher. We challenge each other to come up to the mic. There's no profanity. We're only talking about our history, our present, and our future. In our greatness, just to talk about who we are. So it's something that I'm really passionate about. I don't charge any artists anything. At first I was, but now I do it out the kindness of my heart. And I spend a lot of money doing this every year. And it's been getting some great traction. A lot of dope artists is, signed up and jumped on board. And I've also had some dope artists turn me down and has told me like, Storm, I'm not up for this challenge. I can't do nothing without cussing, or I can't, solely write 16 bars or create 16 bars, about us, and I was just like, wow. Wow. It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Okay. So you can't make a song without cussing. Okay.
It's a lot of them.
Chameleon made a whole album without saying a single curse word in it. So
did he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, an entire album without a single curse word. So
but that's one educated brother. I was listening to him in an interview. Very intelligent, intellectual.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right. That's right. But that's an amazing thing that you put on something that helps to celebrate and something that gives light to Black History Month and to the musical aspect of Black music, because Black music is the foundation for all music. I'll tell anybody that. Foundation for all music. Is you're going to listen to any music, and I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be rooted in some type of culture of Black people.
African American.
Black and brown. You got that right.
And then, I do the hip hop cipher because I feel like throughout the year, all year, you have women, and I'm not being disrespectful, I'm just stating the facts, the obvious, degrading themselves, putting themselves out there, talking about everything other than anything spiritual or uplifting, or that's putting us in a, recognizing the crown that we have, that, the power that we have. And brothers the same. You could talk about slanging dope, killing other niggas and everything else. Yep. Let's take these 28 days just to detox. You know what I'm saying? Detox from everything else
from
that
all the other stuff
bombarded with, right?
That's right.
It's like, whew, like 28. I'd be happy every year to come around. Like, yes.
Soon as February 1st get here, like, here we go.
Oh, I'll be on there reporting it. Right, here we go.
It's a cleansing. It's a cleansing. I mean, but you're right. Like, But why do we do that though?
Oh, that's a good question.
Why? But why do we self-degrade? Why do we talk negative about each other in music? Why do we destroy the self-image of Black people in music? Like, why do we do that? I mean, you don't really have, it's kind of like it just pops into my head. Like,
a general question.
Why do we do that?
Piggyback on that. I would like to give my personal, because it's
Please
all perspective,
Please do.
My personal opinion as to why we do that is for two reasons. One, because most of us have contracts this big, most artists, and they don't have creative control over what they can and can't do. A lot of artists, me being a ghostwriter, I know a lot of artists don't write their own stuff. And the record label says, sex sells. This is what's going to sell. I done advanced you $1 million. We need to recoup this $1 million. So I know you want to put out this holier than holy grail record, but we're going to put out this twerk record right now because that's what's going on. And that's what's going to recoup all this money that you owe me. That's from a label standpoint. That's the first reason. The second reason is ignorance is bliss. A lot of Black, beautiful women walking this planet have no idea how powerful they are, the royalty that they have,
Mm.
the greatness and the grace that has been passed down, the lineage of who we are. Ignorance is bliss. And if the the narrative, if the label, the person who controls this music game is Caucasian or white, or Jewish, because that's what it
Mm-hmm.
really is. But anyway, and they have strings and they say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So, a lot of us, it's just a brainwash. It's a brainwashing session. It's a
Mm.
brainwashing situation. And it's to keep us looking at ourselves as less than what we are. If we all knew how powerful we were and how great we were and we united.
Ah, it, yeah, it'll be over. Come on now. Come on now. It would. I mean, the amount of power that lives within each one of us to be able to
Each
stand
one
up
of
and
us.
unite. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Have you
I
ever
would.
noticed that when you in a room with African Americans, why it get hotter? Because we have all these electricity that's
Mm,
naturally flowing through our melanated body. If we got together and said, you know what, brother, I'm never going to shoot or kill or harm another person that look like me. You know what, sister, I'm never going to compete with another woman or attack another woman that look like me. That's love. That's how we stop
mm-hmm.
black on black crime. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
also put an end to police brutality and everything. Because when I see a brother getting pulled over because I love my brother, I'm gonna pull over with him. Is everything okay here, officer? Okay, let me call my brother. Let me call you. Call your brother. So we ain't gonna have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about somebody standing there with a phone recording a nigga getting killed. Because we
Mm,
all gonna be here at his defense. We gonna love each other and hold each other down. That's what
mm,
I promote. That's what I want to see. If they
mm-hmm.
don't kill me first.
No, we no,
But
we're not even gonna speak. We're not even gonna speak like that. But that's
that's
right.
right.
So speaking about that. So speaking in that same vein, right? The song that you recently released, Quicksand, has a very
Mhm.
strong message. So talk to us about the message behind Quicksand. Talk to us about the concept of that song and why that song exists today, because that's a powerful song.
Thank you. Yes. And I made it to be a powerful song. I wanted to come out the gate as a hip hop soul artist with something that is going to touch the hearts of my listeners. I wanted to evoke everyone's emotion, everyone, black and white, and everything in between. So, Quicksand derived in my soul during the riots that was happening all over the world from, not Trayvon Martin, Lord have mercy, so many of them. George Floyd, I'm saying his name right, right? I
Yeah,
did.
it's
Yes.
George Floyd.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
And
but wait. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there. But that's the sad part when you just said there's so many of them.
there's so many of them.
Wow.
And those is just the ones we know. There's
Right.
plenty of them that's not getting no coverage at all,
That's right.
you know. But it derived then. I remember I have three sons. I have three young black men that mean everything to me. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're honor roll students, but they look like what society has deemed as gangsters. They wear
Mm,
hoodies, you know.
mm-hmm.
They have their own. This generation has their own style, and I'm not going to
Right.
say it's a right or wrong style. It's just their style.
Right.
But anyway, I worry about them when they leave the house because of how they look. I say,
Mm-hmm.
son, pull your pants up. Take your hood off when you go into a store because
Mm,
there are young black boys getting killed for just being young black boys. There's young black boys getting killed just from being deemed as a threat because of what society says this looks like a criminal. This is what a thug looks like.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But most thugs I know wear suits. Most thugs I know wear suits and they don't look like us.
Mm,
But that's a whole nother conversation. But no,
mm-hmm.
Quicksand derived from that. I was just in tears watching the video. I mean, it was so many people and networks and platforms posting this man dying right in our face, right before our
Constantly.
eyes. Like it was like
Mm-hmm.
people were getting numb to it. Like, oh, another nigga died. Okay, oh well, turn the channel. Oh, another nigga died. Damn, turn the channel. Excuse my French, but it just bothered my soul so much. And at the time, I
Mm,
was in the studio working with other artists on, happy, upbeat music, club music. It was about to be
mm-hmm.
summertime. We working on summertime music. But in my soul, it just kept tugging at me. I'm like, no one's going to talk about We gonna act like we artists ain't seeing everything that's going on. We're not gonna talk about this, like, you know. So I made the song during that time, and I was scared to put it out. I was scared to put it out during that time. I
Wow.
didn't feel like it was going to be. I don't know. I've never done anything as political, or
Hmm.
in that realm before. And I'm like, man, do I really want to jump into this lane? Because now this is about to open up a whole. It has, like,
Mm.
I've been on interviews after interviews since I put Quicksand out, and one of the
Hmm.
interviews I was on was with a white commentator, and he asked me on the interview. He said, "Aren't you tired of talking about Black Lives Matter and how your people are victims? Aren't you? When are you going to start talking about something else? Is it that haven't we heard this enough?" You know, I went off. We live on
I'm
air. I
sure.
went
I'm sure.
off. I went off. The video up, I left it up. I left it up on purpose. It's up on my platforms. You can go back and listen to it. It was kind of funny. But yeah,
Mm.
I didn't release it until 2022. I did it February 1st for Black History Month because again, I'm like, okay, this is the month where if no other time throughout the year, Black people are going to be researching and
Mm.
studying and recapping on our greatness. And I said, I'm going to just put it out there, the trials and tribulations that we just persevered through, that we're
Hmm.
still persevering through. And so that's how it came about. That's how it
Mm.
came
Okay. It
about.
kind of has that same, and maybe somebody has said this before. Maybe you agree or disagree, but it kind of has that same feeling of this is America,
Oh,
right?
I have
So,
not heard that
like,
one.
from Childish Gambino. So, it kind of has that same type of in your face reality that people are out here dying and there's things that are taking place that people just sometimes
Period.
not even thinking about or concerned about or worried about, and they're just numb to it. And it's like,
No.
and so it's like, wow. I mean, how often
That
those
is a
things
good
happen.
that is a good comparison. You know what that song has been compared to that I've heard so far? Gangster's Paradise by
Yeah, like
Coolio.
Gangsta's Paradise, right?
And a song by Tupac, I see no changes. All I see is
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the
So
way
I
it,
was
because
like, wow.
it has a message in it that talks about what is happening in the black culture, in the black community, and
Right.
that's what This Is America talks about. That's what the Tupac song talks about, and a couple of other songs kind of talk about those same type of messages. And so it was appreciative listening to it. It is a
Thank
powerful song. If you haven't seen it, or listened to it, it's a powerful song, powerful video. I think the lady you have is Madam X.
Yes, shout
Yep,
out to Madam X.
yep. And so
That's
powerful
a
song.
powerhouse.
Power song. I ain't gonna get the whole video away, but they will rap like that's when because I had listened to a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Like a whole bunch of other songs. But then when I got to that one and I saw that video, I was like, yo, wait a minute, this is completely different. It's
It'll stop
completely
you.
different.
It'll stop
They
you in your track.
in dressed in black. They like in a grave, a grave area, and they just like, yeah. Yo, look at this, and they both doing it. But but it's the message, and then reading the comments,
Yes,
how many people connected to it and the reception that they gave
absolutely.
you to say this song is amazing.
Man, and those are just the ones you've seen. You should see my
Mm,
inbox. I have philosophers and scholars and college students who wants me to come and speak to their classes and their
mm,
HBCUs. And I'm like, wow. I'm like kicking myself in the butt. Like, but you know what? Everything happens in divine timing. I
mm-hmm,
do wish I would have released it then because my team is like it was more relevant then. But in all honesty, there was a young boy who just got killed in Philadelphia a week or two ago, and he was
wow.
12 years old. He was 12. So it's on a until this police brutality and these crimes, these hate crimes stop, it's going to always be relevant.
It's gonna always be relevant.
It's always going to be relevant.
Always,
This
always
is
be
what we're
relevant.
going through.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's something else that you are into that's also relevant, which is mental health.
absolutely.
So why is that something that is drawn to you? Not mental health itself, right? Not those things. That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no, no.
But
I've
the
struggled with
topic.
mental health. I've
Mm.
struggled with mental health. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I think at some point, especially again, being an African American in America, we all are just faced with so many different things that we have to deal with just from being Black. I mean, let's just be real. Whether you notice it or want to notice it, or you want to say, I don't see color and all of that. No, that's not real. So yeah, mental health is something that I talk about a lot. I did an entire movie called Guns and Roses, yeah, based around mental health, and I did that movie to show people, one, that it's okay not to be okay, and
Mm.
you have to seek help at some point, because if you don't, depression will take over, anxiety will take over, or
Mm.
you will get to a point to where you just don't want to live anymore, because there's a saying, living is hard, dying is easy. And
Mm.
it's true, living is hard. It's hard. You face with so many different things, from, family members passing. Everyone takes and grieves difference. And, so I talk about mental health a lot, because mental health is something that I've had to deal with my entire life unknowingly. I didn't
Mm.
know I had anxiety. So my friends would say, I talk really fast. I don't know if I'm talking fast today because I don't
No.
really notice it.
Mm-mm.
But people would say, "Girl, is you on drugs?" And I'm drug free. I don't do no drugs, not anything at all. But I used to talk really, really, really fast, and I always wanted to do
Mm.
things really, really, really fast. And I would always worry about the next thing, tomorrow, next week.
Mm.
Like, I could literally vision, like, if I was going to do a show, in my mind, I've already done it.
Mm.
It's done already. I done
She
already
said,
walked off the
I've done the
stage.
show
I done
already.
already tapped everybody's hand, hugged everybody, and I'm already back in the car. So, once I started to realize that everyone else wasn't moving as fast as me, I had to start learning that depression comes from the past, worrying about things that you were from the past.
Mm.
Anxiety comes from worrying about the future.
Things.
The gift
Mm-hmm.
is the present. So you have to live in the moment. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel so much better.
Hey, I like that because
So
that's
much
true.
better.
Depression comes from things in the past. Anxiety comes from things in the future. Us worrying about
Absolutely.
is this going to happen in the future? Am I going to be able to do this? And oh, what is this going
Right.
to look like? Yeah, that's
I
that's
used to
a,
be so
that's
scared. Like, I
powerful.
would take my shoes off before I do shows, because I'm like, man, if what if my heel break? And my heel break, my ankle gonna break. If I break, I'm gonna fall on the floor. If I fall on the floor, then I'm gonna fall in the crowd. Somebody gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. Like, that's how bad the anxiety would be. Like, I'm like, ah. And then after I done synced it all in my head, I'm like, okay, breathe. Okay,
Mm.
just live in the moment, And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
the only person I know who deals with that.
No,
It's a lot of
it's
artists who deal with that. I had the pleasure
a
of
lot of
meeting
artists.
Maxwell backstage
Mm.
one time, and his hands were sweating, 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 sweating. And I heard him tell someone else, he was like, I'm just trying to, he like, I'm extremely nervous. Like, and he like, I get nervous all the time before I go on stage. I'm like, looking like, you do
You're
too? Like,
Maxwell. Like
what? Right.
what? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I had a chance to check out the whole Guns N' Roses pieces that you had posted up on your YouTube channel, and just how I like how you call it an emotion picture,
That's right. That's
and
exactly what it is.
it kind of took you on that journey. I think it started with you sitting by the water, and then you having to run to the therapist. There were so many things
Yeah.
going on, and going to the therapist. I was like, oh man, and I love how just kind of how it was shot with kind of like that dreamy looking feel to it. And
Right.
you ended up at the therapist's house, and you were talking to the therapist, and then it went from there into the song. And I was like,
Right.
wow, it did that one, and it did the one with you and your friend who were, I think, by the pool, and the guy came up, and you were like, "Girl, look at it." Well, it wasn't you; it was her. She was like, "Girl, he fine. Look at him." And you was
Yeah,
like,
lifetime type of thing.
"Right,
That's what
right."
it is.
And then some other things happened. There was a shooting. Or at least there was some gunfire that took place, and I was like, "Wow,"
Guns and Roses.
to kind of see, from the album progress in that way with a story behind it and a visual story behind it, really connected and can kind of share that experience with others. It's like, yeah, you know what, I kind of experienced that same thing, not
Right.
just from listening to the song, but also seeing like I felt that same way. I needed to talk to somebody because I felt like I was having that type of attack, and you know, I got a chance to get to somebody, and so it
That's right.
shows. And many people experience that same type of
Absolutely.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I definitely want to I just want to let people know that it's okay. It's okay.
Mm.
Life, I was, brought up in a single family home myself. I didn't meet my father until much later on in my life, and that impacted, my childhood unknowingly. I was always searching for my father in guys, and that's just the way of the territory. A daughter needs her father, like a son needs his mother, and vice versa. So, we deal with a lot of childhood traumas that we think is just normal because it's what's been fixed around us or our environment. But a lot of things that we have to deal with and persevere through as people, period, some of those things are not normal. Some of those things have caused us to suffer in some type of way that may cause us to have depression, anxiety, bipolar, and the list goes on, and just genetics in general. I have I have a couple of people around me regularly that have schizophrenia, that
Mm.
they have a chemical imbalance and they have to take something. And at some points, they don't feel like themselves. They're not happy. And, that's why I love on everyone, because you never know what a person is going through. I be kind to everyone. I try to make everyone laugh because life is short and we're not here to
Right.
bash and hurt other people. We're here to
No.
love on each other. That's our job. So,
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
mental health is
Oh
important.
man, Miss Storm, we have been talking for. It doesn't feel like an hour and 7 minutes, but it has been. All right, and I don't want to take up too much of your
Wow.
time, but I
Right. Because
have
my
I have
kids are
like
gonna be like,
I have like two other questions to ask you. So
sure.
the first question is, when can we expect the Black Dreams EP?
Yes.
What is
So,
that about, and when can we expect it?
man, listen, I am so excited about Black Dreams that every time I talk about it, I start to get anxiety again. I just gotta take it one thing at a time. My next single off of Black Dreams is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your
Mm.
mind. It's called RUN. It's a double entendre. It's called RUN, like AREYOUIN, and then it's RUN.
Like run.
Run,
That's right.
run.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
When I
yeah.
tell you, woo,
Let's
I
go.
can't wait for y'all to hear it. I
I
can't
can't.
wait.
I can't wait to hear it. After hearing Quicksand, I was like, oh, I
This
want
gonna
what's
take it
coming
up.
next.
This
Oh
gonna take
yeah.
it up a notch.
Oh
This gonna
yeah.
take it up
Let's
a
do it. Well, so like when though?
notch. Now you gonna make my anxiety
Like I'm
bad
trying to get
now.
that date. Trying to get
Now
that
you gonna
date. When
make
does it
my
drop?
I don't have a date, but it will be this year. That's my plan. It
Perfect.
will be this year. It will
Okay.
definitely be this year.
Okay. Good.
Soon. Very soon.
Good. Soon, because if
Yeah.
it's reminiscent of like how Quicksand came out, and the power of like what
Even
Quicksand
more powerful.
delivers,
Even more
yes.
powerful.
Then
This
I
one
know
is
the.
gonna be a little, and even if it's even possible, because everyone thinks Quicksand is aggressive, but it's not aggressive. It's
Mm,
passionate.
it's
But
passionate.
this one, right? But this one,
Uh
are you
oh.
in? This one gonna be aggressive.
All right, Kelly.
Woo!
Look, like y'all ain't ready. Y'all
Woo!
ain't. Y'all ain't ready.
Y'all ain't ready.
Y'all
I'm
ain't
trying
ready
to
for
tell
it.
you. This is gonna separate. This is gonna separate. This is gonna
Mm,
separate
mm,
a lot of stuff.
mm,
This is gonna
mm.
separate me from a lot of different stuff right here. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
definitely. Most
Okay.
definitely.
All right, so we can't wait for the new single to come out and for the EP to officially drop. That's gonna be, yes. I mean, I shoot. I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
it.
I actually go talk to you about it because I think I want to have you involved with it.
Uh
It's in
oh.
the work.
Uh oh.
It's
We
in
can
the
figure out how
work.
to do it.
Yeah.
We can figure out how to do it. I
Yeah.
act. Look, I
Most
act.
definitely.
You
And
know.
that's exactly where I'm going. But look, you
Look,
already know.
I know how
You're
to
already
act.
there.
You know, I can do multiple different things.
That's
Look, I'm
right.
talented. I'm talented. I got
I know.
skill. Look,
I
hey,
already
I'm
know.
Bvon. I act. I do what I don't sing anymore. So don't get me to.
No.
Y'all know that. The people who watch the show know that. Yeah. Yep. I don't do that. I don't do that. So, Miss Storm, what advice would you give to anybody getting into this music business, music industry? Right. What would you tell them?
Oh my God, it's so much to tell you. Depending on where you at in your career, it's so many different things to tell you because it's levels to this thing. Understand that you have to love this thing like your child. You have to love it. You have to love it. If you're not passionate about it, you will lose you'll lose the ambition to keep going because it's a lot. It's a hard working job. It's a 24/7 job, not a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 2. This is something your best thoughts might come at 3 a.m. You might have to go to the studio at 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it is something that takes a warrior. You have to be a warrior to be successful in this business. But love it. If this is something that you love, it's something that you think about all the time, you know, in your soul, that is nothing else that you want to do, whether it's a producer, whether it's a musician, whether it's a writer, whether it's a singer or hip hop artist, or you don't know what you want to do. You just love being around creatives. You just love being in the room like a fly and soaking everything in. You know, you never know what your next, you know, title may be, you know, because you can be a lot of things in this business. Don't feel like you have to wear one hat. Wearing more hats is better. It would behoove you to know a lot about a lot of things in this because it's a lot of moving pieces in this business. But you know, study, research, surround yourself with a team. If you don't have a team, you're not even in the game. Don't think that you can do this alone. You can be a great singer, and you know, if you want, you know, to really make it, you're going to need a band. You're going to need a musician. You're going to need a producer. It takes a team. It's not an individual thing. One person is not going to make the thing happen. It takes a team. And other than that, you know, go after it, man. Go after what you love. Do what you love. Don't be scared. Jump out on faith. Take the risk. And if it don't work, at least you could say you did it. At least you could say you tried.
That's right. At least you, that's the biggest thing. At least you tried. Great
At least you
advice.
tried.
Great
Thank
advice, Miss
you.
Storm. So how can people connect with you? How can they find your music? How can they interact and engage with you?
Yes, you can follow me on everything at the number one Miss Storm, and that's MISSSSTORM. Three S's. Follow me, reach out to me. If you want to work with me, let me know. I'm doing features right now. I'm doing consultations right now. I'm a networker. I like to put people with other people that help people. So whatever it is that you got going on, I'm sure I can enlighten you in some way. Let me know.
All right. All right. Miss Stormer, if you wouldn't mind just hanging on for a moment while I close this out.
No problem.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. The wonderful Miss Storm, the talented Miss Storm. Check her out. Please make sure you support her. Go to her Instagram, go to her Spotify, support her on YouTube, check out her videos, check out Quicksand. Like, go check out the Quicksand video. As soon as you're going to become a fan instantly, you're going to be like, yo, it's amazing. But make sure to support, and make sure to support us here also at We Create Music TV. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, make sure to turn on those notifications when we have new content. Of course, we have interviews almost every Monday night at 7, almost every Thursday night at 7. I mean, we got to have a guest on, right? So check us out. Make sure to support. Make sure to check out all the other videos that we have up here on our YouTube channel. Once again, we exist to help music creatives just like you, to help you navigate this whole music world by giving you tools and resources and tips and tricks and all this information to help you be a better music creative. But thank you very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. As always, you know, peace out. Thank you. I'm still working on this whole ending. It's been like 2 years. I still haven't come up with whatever that ending is. Be great. You know, like how we used to have with the Soul Train. Love, peace, and I think that's what hair grease. I think it used to say. I don't think that was it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Peace out, everybody. Take care.